Iran announced a permanent suspension of Google's email services. Iran says its citizens will soon be able to use a national email service instead of Gmail. Do they want that? For more on the new media angle on this political story, let's bring in Nick Thompson, senior editor at Wired magazine and, of course, a Bloomberg contributing editor. Great to see you this morning.
Good morning.
Your takeaway from this?
Well, I think what's happened is Gmail has become more secure. They changed it from HTTP to what's called HTTPS, so it became harder for Iran to snoop on it. So that's one reason why you want to get rid of it. And the other reason why you want to get rid of it is so you can set up your own email service, and then it's much easier to snoop on people.
A Google spokesperson says, and I think we put this in a quote, you know, whenever we encounter blocks in our services, we try to resolve them as quickly as possible. But the takeaway is that they say, you know, we can't always control it. Sadly, I think the line was, you know, sometimes it's not within our control.
No, they absolutely can't control it. And what most people don't understand is that a lot of times technology is actually a force for the state. It's not a force for the opposition. There's a sort of, I believe it's almost a naive sense among the technology community in this country that we'll build Twitter, we'll build Gmail, and we'll bring the revolution. And there are two problems with that. First, these tools aren't always used by people who like democracy and tolerance, you know, protesters who can lead to regimes of the opposite nature.
We saw that. I want to cut you off, but with the Twitter in June, you know, we saw protesters twittering out, saying meeting places where you could demonstrate, but you're saying that can also be read by the government.
It can be read by the government, and people can be tracked, and they can break down, and they can find out who's doing it. So it actually can be a force for repression, not for democratization.
You know, Nick, Wall Street likes to know about Google, where it can grow around the world. We were just talking about the China story with Google a few weeks ago. Now we're talking about this. The numbers aren't big for Google, but what is the broader takeaway
Well,
here?
this is very, the two are connected, I believe. What happened in China, so Google withdraws from China, and then a week later, Hillary Clinton gives a big speech about freedom and democracy. And I think in the minds of many people, and probably many dictatorships, Google and the United States government have now been linked. And so there's a sense that Google is an agent of the U.S. government. And so that is going to be helpful to Google's public perception here and in some countries, and very harmful in other countries from a business perspective.
So do you think maybe in some other countries that maybe aren't as tolerant, they may be blocked from doing business there?
You know, the government of Burma may well kick out Google, for example, because of this now.
All right, well, we want to step back, I guess, from politics and just talk pure tech. Google, it seems like, dangling this possibility, we're all sort of salivating here, to get things 100 times faster.
Right.
What does this mean for the space? I mean, are the phone companies, are the cable companies freaking out that Google is going to be able to offer this speed?
Probably. I think, I mean, the United States, internet access in this country is terrible compared to the rest of the world. We have nothing compared to Japan, compared to South Korea, compared even to France. That's because regulation in the telecom space has not worked. There is not competition. There is not nearly as much innovation as we would like. Lots of people have different arguments about why this is or why it should be. What Google is saying is, look, you can do this. This is possible. If we get the rules right, if we get the system right, we can have internet access. This is 100 times faster. And in fact, we're going to show you that it can be done by doing it. And then the telecom companies, if people realized how bad internet access is in this country, they would probably get their acts together and things would probably work better.
Nick Thompson, we thank you as always for coming in.
Thank you.
Nick Thompson in the newsroom here with us.